Two titles up for grabs, but where will the destination of those titles be heading? We're going to find out, guys. It's TNA Destination X 2006. Welcome back to Fog Wrestling for your review. This is the third TNA pay-per-view of the year, and I would say going into it probably had the weakest card for me. I just wasn't really feeling this pay-per-view, and after watching it, it just didn't really do much for me. Just too much jobber matches, too many matches that should not be on the card that were on the card, and I don't know what TNA can do. Can they try and make the pay-per-views less in terms of length? Even though maybe people would be annoyed about paying so much money for a 2-hour show. Could you make the more important matches go longer, or add more segments, or have more interviews? But for me, it's an issue when pretty much every pay-per-view, the first hour is essentially matches that would be happening on TNA Explosion. That is piss poor. There's just so many matches that just don't really belong on this. Matches that you would kind of look at and you'd put down if they were on TNA Impact, never mind the pay-per-view. So I mean, yeah, it just makes no sense to me to get random matches, dead matches on a pay-per-view when you're paying money for this, but whatever. Yep, I mean, I think that's always been TNA's problem. They've never sold their pay-per-views well, and they've never literally got many buy rates in there, and it's things like this. You know, you're building a show tonight around, oh, Steve Borden could be here. There's also a former WCW World Heavyweight Champion could be here. And I think in order to make the show less shit with the matches that are dead, why not include them in like segments of their own rather than at the main event? Did the main event truly need what happened? Hell, can they not appear twice? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, let's get into this. First match, Alex Shelley versus Jay Lethal. Random match thrown together. No reason for this match other than they needed an extra couple of matches to take up the time limit. Alex Shelley, I've enjoyed what he's been doing lately as part of Jeff Jarrett's little crew, but him versus Jay Lethal, there was just no reason for this match to happen. It didn't make any sense. Alex Shelley won, so I think we had the right winner, but yeah, nah, for me, this was just a match that didn't need to happen and shouldn't be happening on the pay-per-view. Yeah, no, it's an awful way to kick off the show, man. Nothing less, nothing more. It's just a diddy match that would be on any Explosion or Impact. Yeah, then no build, no nothing. Speaking of matches that don't deserve to be on the show with no build, up next, Lant Hoyt versus Matt Bentley with Tracy Brooks. The only thing interesting about this match was the fact that Eric Young and Alex Shelley were in the rafters and they were dropping flyers down to the fans, and the flyers read, "Have you seen this man?" and it was Sting. And it said, "He is dangerous. If so, please contact Jeff Jarrett." A little bit interesting. I think it was cool to see them up in the rafters looking for Sting. But the match itself, nobody really cared for. No, the match itself is even worse than the first one. And for me, I look at matches on this card, I probably would have kicked off the show with the Ultimate X match. I get it, that's probably one of their bigger matches, and I do like the facts when pay-per-views go from worst to best in order, but the pay-per-view felt so dead. If you bought this, right, for 50 bucks or 50 quid back in 2006, you would have felt shortchanged. I like the sense that pay-per-views go from worst match to best match, but I don't know if the opening match should be the worst. I think if you have, let's say, 7 matches on the show, I'm not sure I would start with the 7th worst. I would probably go with a match that's kind of like in the middle. Yeah, I think the James Gang and Bob Armstrong against LAX would have been a decent match to kick off the show. It didn't kick off the show though. Up next we have an interview with Jeremy Borash, Team 3D, Ron Killings and Rhino. They're cutting promos for their 8-man war later on tonight. Then we go to a tag team match. It's Team Canada, Bobby Roode and Eric Young. I think A1 actually took place of Eric Young in this match, or maybe he didn't. No, he didn't. I don't know. Can't remember. Wasn't memorable. They defeated the Naturals. Again, a match that just shouldn't be here. The Naturals got a title shot against America's Most Wanted. Now they're taking on Team Canada. Just a throwaway match. Then we got an interview with Jeremy Borash and Monty Brown. Larry Sabisco says that El Hebner would be the referee, so someone's going to get screwed tonight. 6-man tag. I mean, the James Gang, Kip, BJ James and Bob Armstrong taking on LAX. I mean, this one at least has had a build to it, so fair play.
It was melon before the wrong reasons, though. You've Don West on commentary saying, "Oh, I hope I look that good and I get to 66," referring to Bob
Then he
Armstrong.
said he just hopes he makes it to 66, and obviously we know, unfortunately, that doesn't happen now, so rest in peace, Don West.
I'm not going to blast Bob Armstrong, right? He's 66, but the attire did not flatter him.
Aye,
I mean, come on, a singlet at his age. He should be wearing what Road Dogg's wearing.
But it's just weird. He's at 66 here. He looks like an old man that should not be in the ring. But in 2024, Sting is 66.
And looks like a star.
Looks like he can kick ass. Looks like he can go. It's very strange. Anyway, the James gang win. The sooner that they get Machete out of there and bring in Hernandez, the better.
Yep.
Backstage interview, Jeremy Borash, Eric Young and Alex Shelley. They go into the bathroom. They're trying to find Sting. They see that Sting's robe, Sting's gown is on the bathroom floor. They then burst into a stall, thinking Sting's in there, but it's AJ Styles. They ask AJ, is Sting in that stall with you? And AJ doesn't really like this. It gives him flashbacks to the gay community. And yeah, I thought this was a funny segment.
It was a wee bit of homophobia on display over here. It was the mid-2000s and I liked it more.
Aye, so AJ Styles leaves and he doesn't want to be in the bathroom
It's a bit of banter, man. There's nothing else to it. There's nothing, you know, hateful. It's just a bit of banter.
Bit of banner. Next match, International 4-Way. Chris Sabin representing the USA. Puma representing Japan. Petey Williams representing Canada. And Sanjay Dutt, representing India. So it's just an international 4-way match.
Who's a fucking jobbers.
Chris Sabin picked up the win. Whatever. Interview time, Jeremy Borash and Jeff Jarrett's army. Jeff Jarrett told Eric Young to stop looking for Sting, and he challenged Sting to show during the next match. And if Sting, of course, didn't show during it, it was Jeff Jarrett, Abyss, and America's Most Wanted taking on Team 3D, Rhino and Ron Killens. We had some fucking... I mean, the match was okay. Again... The face team was cheated. Team 3D should have got the win. The referee was pulled out. Don West says that Gail Kim's got some balls. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. I mean, in 2024, you wouldn't really be surprised if the average chick in wrestling's got nuts, to be fair. After the match, Jarrett won with a stroke on Ron Killens. A little bit of an anticlimactic win here. Chris Harris pulled Ron Killens' leg while being handcuffed to the ring post, and that led to the distraction. Jarrett with the stroke, 1, 2, 3. Then Jeff Jarrett declared that Sting was a quitter because he gave Sting to the count of 10 to come out. Sting didn't come out, so Sting's a quitter in Jeff Jarrett's eyes. Ultimate X match up next. It was Daniels versus Joe versus AJ Styles. I thought the match was good, but I didn't think it was great, and I was expecting it to be great. It was good, but with these three, I just expected a bit more.
Yeah, but it's almost like Joe's limited, so it was almost like a singles match when it got to the X.
Yeah, there was very little storytelling with the X. There wasn't much, attempts to go for the X. It did feel a bit flat that way. I mean, it almost felt like this could have just been a normal triple threat match.
No, absolutely.
Some good spots, good match. Now, Online World of Wrestling says that there was roughly 10 minutes shaved off this match, and that's what it felt like to me.
Why would that be? No, but honestly, let's call a spade a spade.
It's pay-per-view. If you run over, you can run over. It doesn't matter.
But why are we getting a 10-minute match at the start of the show? It's shit. Why are we getting 2 matches at the beginning of this show that no one cares for, and we're actually taking time away from one of the most looked forward to matches on the card?
See, it was a good match, but it did, when it ended, I was like, holy shit, I can't believe it's ended like that. Christopher Daniels won.
So Joe wearing brown pants.
Yeah, shitey brown pants. And then he went to... It was almost like he tried to stop Daniels for grabbing the hex, then decided, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to sit in the corner instead. Bit weird there for Joe.
Eat my Big Mac.
Anyway, Daniels wins. Was not expecting him to come away with the belt here, but he did it. Good for him, I guess. Up next, NWA World Title match. Christian Cage cut a promo before this. Then he came out, took on Monty Brown. Again... I thought it was a decent match, but I don't think it was great. I don't think this was a main event level performance. For me, it just wasn't great. Christian Cage, I thought, did a good job of, and Monty Brown did a good job of targeting the the ribs of Christian Cage, and obviously Christian Cage sold it. I like the story. I mean, Monty Brown working on the ribs and Monty Brown dominating the match, but it just didn't really. It felt more like a TNA Impact main event to me than a pay-per-view main event. And Christian Cage manages to dodge the pounce and just hit the Imprinter for the 1-2-3.
It's weird. I just never felt like Monty Brown had a chance, and he's against Christian.
Yeah, but I didn't expect him to lose so easily. Yeah, he dominated the match, but one Imprinter took him out the game.
Yeah, like the last 3 matches, the 3 biggest matches on offer, and the endings are all flat, just dead, no atmosphere.
Yeah, after the match, Jeff Jarrett comes out, he wants a title shot. Christian says he can't give him a title shot, and Jeff Jarrett knows it, but what he can give him is an ass whooping, so he comes down. Jeff Jarrett also said he would make Christian Cage a transitional champion like his brother up north, so a nice wee dig at Edge there, who only held the belt for, like, he didn't even defend it after beating Cena inside the chamber.
It's so AEW that though, isn't it? It's fucking cheap. I don't like this. I bash AEW when they do it, so I'll bash TNA. Even though it's a pretty good dig, WWE just doesn't do this. I mean, they didn't mention TNA until Angle was like, TNA are hiring. That was like 2018 when TNA's been dead 4 years.
Anyway, Christian and Jarrett begin to brawl. Monty Brown gets in the ring to help his buddy Jeff Jarrett. So Rhino comes down to even up the odds. After Abyss was in as well, so it was like 3-on-1 at this point or something like that. Or 2-on-1, Rhino comes down and Abyss comes down. Then America's Most Wanted comes down, Alex Shelley comes down, Abyss, Team Canada, everyone is in the ring here, and it's outnumbered. Rhino gets taken to the outside, so Rhino at this point is done. Christian gets handcuffed. They love their handcuffs here, so he gets handcuffed to the ropes, and he gets whipped. He gets whipped like a little bitch here, and I thought the commentary was pretty good for Don West and
Mike Tenay,
that guy
that hosts Golden Balls.
Pretty much everybody here took a chance at whipping Christian, and I thought this was, even Scott D'Amore's getting in the action, and I thought it was pretty good.
Some proper whips.
Yeah, some good whips here with the belt, and then Sting arrives, but the problem is the lights didn't go out, the music didn't play, Sting didn't come out with the face paint or with the bat or with the cloak. Sting came out as Steve Borden in normal clothes. No music, no nothing. And I get what they were going for, right? Sting was trying to say, I'm not messing around. You're not getting Sting, you're getting Steve Borden. But here's the thing. See if you want to make an impact, and that's not a pun intended. See if you want to really punish someone and show that you're serious, then you would come as Sting.
Yeah.
You would come as Sting, because Sting's a fucking badass. But no, Steve Borden gets in the ring, and he proceeds to beat them all up 10-on-1.
See, with
no weapon, with no bat, Steve Borden gets in throwing fists, and he's beating them all up.
See, when Triple H crippled Shawn Michaels, did he come out as Sean Hickenbottom? No. You know, it doesn't work like that. I don't get this, right? See, when the NWO was terrorising WCW, did Sting go, you know what, actually, I'm going to drop all this face paint and baseball bats, I'm going to be Steve Borden.
Next week, you're going to have to answer to Steve Borden. Like, Steve Borden...
Not this, like, right, obviously Sting's bigger than the average man, right, I get it, you know, he is a star, right, I'm not going to bury his physique, but it just looked like a fan jumped the barricade and buried 10 of TNA's biggest stars in the ring at once.
Yeah, but I think Sting with the face paint on and the whole gimmick, it glosses over his age.
Yeah, it looked like a 50-year-old man here.
See when he's just Steve Borden? It just looks like a guy that's past it, beating up a bunch of guys in their prime.
It's almost like it's boring, not bored in.
So he beats them all up, he clears the ring, then he starts beating up Jarrett. He locks Jarrett in the Scorpion Deathlock, and everybody, Team Canada, Abyss, Alex Shelley, they're all America's Most Wanted. They're all standing outside, and they're afraid to get in the ring. Even though Sting's preoccupied with Scorpion Deathlock, they're all just looking on. Like, they're trying to grab Jarrett to get him out the ring, but they're all afraid to get in the ring for whatever reason.
Jarrett keeps looking at tapes. He needs to look at this tape on Impact and batter them all.
Yeah, this was poor. And then Scott Steiner makes his debut, and we didn't get any music for Scott Steiner, which was a little bit disappointing. He comes out, hits some suplexes on Sting, which you'd expect Scott Steiner to do. He then locks in the Steiner recliner. Jarrett gives a mouthful to Sting, then smashes him with a guitar, which was a pretty good shot, I thought. And then Steiner continues with the Steiner recliner, while Christian's still been whipped and he's just dead at this point. He's just hung up on the ropes. And then the music plays and you get the sirens. Holla, if you hear me. And the show goes off the air with Jeff Jarrett and Scott Steiner. Looks like they're this new duo, this new power trip in TNA.
I think this would have been better, though, if you've got them beating up Sting and Christian, and then you hear, holla, if you hear me. And it's like, oh, who's Steiner going to side with? I know Jarrett did say a former champion's going to help. But then I would change that. I think having Steiner's music play, and then it's who's he siding with, who's he's attacking. He just came out. And obviously Steiner's bigger than, you know, everyone in the ring, and he is a star at the end of the day, but it did kind of feel a wee bit flat. He felt like a number in Jarrett's brigade rather than that's the man, Scott Steiner.
I just didn't like how they didn't play his music when he appeared, but they played his music to end the show.
I can get playing, I mean, I don't know what Steve Borden's music would be like, so he didn't get any music, but yeah, I mean, what's this going to result in now? Is this going to result in Jeff Jarrett getting another title reign? You bet your bottom dollar it will.
Yeah, well, there you go, guys. That was the end of the show. Look, I thought it was decent. I thought it was a decent pay-per-view. The longer it went on, it was okay. I liked the fact that Steiner was there. I'm going to get a 5 out of 10. Yeah. Just average for me. I mean, yeah, I'd say 5's an average. 5 out of 10 for me is average. 6 out of 10 is decent. I'm going to say it was average. Just the first hour sucked. And even though I thought the last 3 matches were decent, I thought they should have all been better. So
all the endings were poor. So I'll give it a 5 as well.
But I did like the beatdown. I thought the beatdown on Christian, and then I liked obviously the fact Scott Steiner came out. I just didn't really buy Steve Borden beating up 10 people. I mean,
is it the best pay-per-view? So I think the pay-per-views this year have been pretty lackluster.
They have been, but I think when Sting comes out and he's got the bat and he's got the face paint, you can accept him. Sting beating up 10 people looks real. But when it's Steve Borden doing it, you're thinking, why is this old guy beating up young studs like James Storm and Chris Harris and all of Team Canada? It just doesn't look right. But when
Monster Abyss.
But when he's got the face paint and the lights go out and the music, the Stinger music comes on, it's like it works. And he's got the bat. He didn't have nothing here. He was just throwing fists. And why is Abyss afraid of Steve Borden? I don't get this. Anyway, guys,
got to pay his face paint.
What's your rating?
5.
5 out of 10. There you go. That's it. Destination X. We'll catch you in the next one. Until then, though, peace.